My simple promise. Turning a single check into financial freedom. I'm going to tell you exactly how I turned a one-time settlement check into a $1 million real estate portfolio in just 24 months. This is not a story about getting lucky or having some secret connection that you don't. It is a story about a simple plan executed with relentless consistency. I started with a credit score of just 615, which is not great by any measure. I had this single check in my hand, and I made a quiet, serious vow to myself. I promised that every single dollar from that check would go to work for me, building a future where I no longer had to trade my time for money. That one promise became my North Star. My situation was not unique. Many people find themselves with a sudden sum of money, whether from a settlement, an inheritance, a bonus. The common path is to spend it to upgrade a lifestyle, to buy a new car, or to take a lavish vacation. I knew that path led right back to where I started. I wanted something different. I wanted to build something permanent, something that would grow on its own. I saw that check not as a windfall to be spent, but as seed capital for a new life. The safety net. Why 6 months of living expenses unlocked everything. Before I made a single investment, before I even made an offer, I did the most important thing first. I took a portion of that settlement money and I set it aside. I calculated my total monthly living expenses, rent, food, utilities, car payment, everything. Then I multiplied that number by 6. This amount, my 6-month emergency fund, was moved into a separate high-yield savings account. I made a rule that this money was not to be touched. It was not investment capital. It was my parachute. It was the foundation upon which I could build everything else without fear. Having this safety net was a psychological game changer. It completely transformed my ability to take calculated risks. Knowing that my basic needs were covered for half a year meant that I could negotiate from a position of strength, not desperation. I could walk away from a deal that was not quite right. I could handle an unexpected vacancy or a major repair without panicking and being forced to sell at a loss. This financial cushion gave me the breathing room to make smart, long-term decisions instead of short-sighted, fearful ones. It was the single most important factor that allowed me to move with speed and confidence. Many aspiring investors skip this step. They get excited and want to put every last dollar into a deal, hoping to maximize their returns immediately. This is a massive mistake. Without a cash reserve, you are fragile. A single unexpected event can wipe you out like a job loss or a furnace breaking. You become a forced seller, and forced sellers always lose. My parachute fund meant I would never be in that position. It was the ultimate defense. It allowed me to sleep soundly at night, knowing that my family was secure. That peace of mind is priceless. The daily ritual, my unstoppable habit for finding deals. With my safety net firmly in place, I focused all my energy on building a simple, non-negotiable daily habit. This was the engine of my progress. Every single day, without fail, I committed to 3 small actions. Analyze 3 potential investment properties. Make at least 1 written offer. Connect with 1 new person in the real estate industry. I called this my 3-1-1 rule. It was a small, manageable commitment, but when repeated over weeks and months, it created an unstoppable wave of momentum and opportunity that carried me forward. Analyzing 3 deals a day forced me to become incredibly fluent in my local market. I used websites like Zillow, Redfin, the MLS. For each one, I would run the numbers through a simple spreadsheet. I calculated potential rent, estimated expenses, taxes, estimated expenses, insurance, and projected my cash flow. At first, it was slow and clumsy, but after a few weeks, I could analyze a property in under 15 minutes. I started to see patterns. I learned what a good deal looked like just by glancing at the numbers. This daily practice was my education, and it cost me nothing but my time. Making 1 offer each day was the part that truly separated me from the talkers. Most people analyze endlessly, but are too scared to actually pull the trigger. I knew that you cannot buy a property you do not make an offer on. Most of my offers were rejected, and that was perfectly fine. The goal was not to have every offer accepted. The goal was to get comfortable with the process and to put my line in the water consistently. I made low, logical offers based on my numbers, not on emotion. This practice desensitized me to rejection and taught me the art of negotiation. Finally, connecting with one new person every day built my network from the ground up. I would call a real estate agent, email a mortgage broker, have coffee with a contractor, or message a local investor on social media. I was not asking for anything. I was just introducing myself and learning from them. This daily outreach quickly built a team around me. I found a great agent who understood my goals, a lender who specialized in investment properties, and a handful of reliable contractors. This network became my unfair advantage, bringing me off-market deals and expert advice when I needed it most. Yeah. The first move: house hacking with an FHA loan. My very first deal was a house hack. It was the perfect way to get started with minimal risk. A house hack is when you buy a multi-unit property, live in one of the units, and rent out the others. The magic of this strategy is that you can use an owner-occupant loan, which has much better terms than a traditional investment loan. I specifically used an FHA loan, which is a loan program insured by the Federal Housing Administration. The biggest benefit of an FHA loan is the incredibly low down payment requirement. I was able to buy a triplex, a 3-unit building, with only 3.5% down. I found a property that was structurally sound, but cosmetically ugly. It needed paint. It needed new flooring. It needed updated kitchens. It needed updated baths. Because it was not in perfect condition, the price was lower than other properties in the area. I bought the triplex for $320,000. My 3.5% down payment was just $11,200. I lived in one of the 2-bedroom units myself. After I fixed up the other 2 units, I rented them out for $1,400 each per month. That brought in a total of $2,800 in monthly rental income. My total mortgage payment, including property taxes and insurance, was about $2,650 per month. The numbers tell the whole story. The rent from my 2 tenants completely covered my entire mortgage payment, plus an extra $150 each month. This meant I was essentially living for free. My biggest personal expense, housing, was completely eliminated. This freed up a massive amount of cash flow in my personal budget, which I could then save and reinvest into the next property. I was not just saving money on rent, I was actively building equity in a $320,000 asset. My tenants were effectively buying the building for me while I lived in it for free. This first move accomplished several critical things. It gave me hands-on experience as a landlord and experience as a property manager, teaching me how to screen tenants, sign leases, and handle maintenance requests. It proved to me that my financial models worked in the real world. Most importantly, it provided a powerful psychological boost. Seeing the rental income hit my bank account each month and cover the mortgage was tangible proof that this path to financial freedom was real. The house hack was the launchpad for my entire portfolio, and it is a strategy I recommend to every single person starting out. Got it. To scale quickly without saving a new down payment each time, I adopted the BRRRR method: buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. This powerful strategy lets you recycle your initial investment, pulling your capital back out to fund the next one. To ensure every deal was profitable, I lived by the maximum allowable offer, or MAO formula. After repair value times 70% minus rehab costs. For a property with a $200K ARV and $40K in rehab, your max offer is $100K. Stick to your numbers, no exceptions. Scaling to $1 million portfolio in 2 years requires systems. I standardized everything from rehab materials to legal protections like LLCs. This creates speed and safety, protecting your growing wealth. A key financial system is understanding the debt service coverage ratio, or DSCR. It's your property's annual net operating income divided by its mortgage payments. Lenders want a DSCR of 1.20 or higher, proving the property can pay for itself. This leads to the 24-month roadmap. It starts with preparation, moves to acceleration using the BRRRR method, and finishes with scaling. The goal: acquire 8 to 12 cash-flowing units, pushing your net worth over the $1 million mark. This roadmap isn't easy, but it is simple, requiring unwavering focus on the daily process.